So Netflix has just released its live-action reboot of the animated series Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I'm so excited, and my kids are so excited, and we're ready to watch it. There is a tie-in to geocaching here. I promise it's coming. Netflix has released its live-action reboot of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and if you are a fan of that show and you found this video and you're not sure what geocaching is all about, maybe stick around. And who knows, you might find your next latest obsession. If you are a fan of geocaching and you're not sure about Avatar: The Last Airbender, we're not talking about the James Cameron blue-skinned movies. Here is the 30-second breakdown. The Last Airbender is an epic animated series that came out in 2005 on Nickelodeon. It takes place in a world where people have the ability to control or bend elements.
Water. Earth, fire, air. Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
The series follows the adventures of Aang, who is the last Airbender. He is the last of his people. But he's also the latest incarnation of the Avatar, and he has the ability to control all four elements. Together with his friends, this group of heroes, Aang has to travel the world to master these four elements and put a stop to the tyrannical rule of the Fire Nation that wants to control the rest of the world. And if he can control all those elements, he can hopefully bring peace and balance to the world. It's probably more than 30 seconds, but it's okay. It's an epic animated series. It's awesome. Great animation, some really cool action sequences, and it had some rich characters with actual development. It was full of courage and humor, really nice life lessons that appeal to a wide range of audiences. Netflix was able to get the license for this in 2020, and I was able to watch it all over again with the kids, and it was something that between all of us intergenerationally we were able to really enjoy. Okay, so that's the setup, but how does this tie into our story of geocaching? In 2022, our very first geocaches that we hid were based on Avatar: The Last Airbender. And we didn't want to hide just one geocache for our first hide. We actually tried to hide 4 geocaches, each one based on a different nation in the world of Avatar. One geocache that was based off of the land of the Northern Water Tribe, which is like this Arctic biome. And so we had this little diorama of icy waters that were built into the geocache. We had one for the capital of the Earth region, which is this great city of stone called Ba Sing Se, and they have these train systems that are pushed along by earthbenders. So we incorporated little diorama of trains over the farmlands of Ba Sing Se. And we had Fire Nation based off of just a volcano. So I actually had little sides inside the geocache that were meant to look like the walls of a volcano. Our geocache for the air element was based off of the Western Air Temple. But what's really cool about it is that it's underneath the edge of a cliff. So they have these visuals where it has these towers that look like they're hanging from the bottom of a cliff. But then when they go inside, it's actually like everything's the right way up. It's kind of hard to explain. You just have to watch the cartoon to be able to see what I mean. It's a beautiful visual. And we wanted to depict that inside of a geocache. You know, when you find a creative geocache out there and you have like such a neat experience, you can really appreciate that. Some of the first geocaches that we ever found were these fun, creative, like whimsical geocaches, and we just had such a good experience. And we just wanted to provide that experience to other people looking for geocaches as well. So I spent about off and on over a week just cutting out foam, painting it, stylizing it so that it could look like volcanic rock and stone and concrete and ice. And we tried to decorate them to really reflect what these nations could look like. The Western Air Temple was probably one of my favorites because we found these little pagodas, these little towers. We had them actually attached to the lid of the geocache so that when they were lifted up and when someone opens that up, you would have these towers hanging upside down, just like how they were in the animated series. And since this was intended to be a series of 4 geocaches, they were all kind of tied together with a storyline. All of the cache descriptions read something along the lines of, you know, you're helping Aang to build his alliances to defeat the Fire Nation, and will you join him? If you are, go and to these locations and sign up to be part of his allies. So you would go and you'd sign the logbook. We crafted these geocaches as part of something called the Fraser Valley Cache Bash. On one day, dozens of geocaches get published at the same time, and geocachers wake up early in the morning to wait and see which ones have gotten published, and all race out to try to be the first ones to find them. The theme for the Cache Bash for 2022 was elements. And so as soon as we heard that, the kids and I knew, like, right away, like, yes, we're going to connect elements to the 4 elements of The Last Airbender, and that's what our geocaches are going to be themed on. So what has become the fate of our caches, our very first geocaches? Well, one of the challenges of placing a geocache is actually finding a proper location for them. Of course, you can't place the geocaches too close to one another. There's environmental areas that are protected. And so sometimes it proves challenging to find the real estate to actually hide a geocache. And we only ended up hiding 3 out of 4 of them because of this. And of those 3, only one of them survived. The location that I hid, the Earth Nation capital, was this area that had farmland on one side, water on the other, and there was like a train track that ran across there. And I thought the combination of the train track plus the farmland was similar enough to what the area around Ba Sing Se looked like. And so I thought that was a good location. And the location for the water temple was actually just underneath a walkway, underneath a dock. This one happened to be next to the Fraser River. Well, after they were published, they lasted about 2 weeks, and then the water levels of the river rose because of the freshet that year.
Freshet. Noun. A great rise or overflowing of a stream or river caused by heavy rains or melted snow.
And 2 of those geocaches just washed away. One geocache, which was the Western Air Temple at the top of this like little mountain, like this hill, I figured that was appropriate for the Air Temple, where you have to like climb up a steep hill to be able to find it. And that one is still out there, and I haven't actually checked in on it in a while. The new hiding place. As for the 4th geocache, which was the Fire Nation capital, well, I have that right here. We never found a location to place this particular geocache. We took our lock and lock containers. I had plasti dipped this green, these vinyl cutouts of all of the nation logos. You can kind of see how we tried to make that look like a volcano. And where's the logbook? And I made logbooks out of these like little hardcover notebooks that we found at the dollar store, and I painted them over, and we put the logo of each nation on each one of those. And that was the logbook. Inside it even says, "Congratulations, you have reached the Fire Nation capital. It wasn't easy, but you convinced the people of the Fire Nation to join your quest to unite the nations." And that is the story of the very first time that we ever hid geocaches, and how it's connected to Avatar: The Last Airbender. Maybe it's time for this series to have a reboot. I don't know. I have a lot planned for this year, so we'll have to add it to the list. So this year, I'm starting a series called Create a Cache, where every month we try to create and build one creative geocache based off of the hiding suggestions from geocaching headquarters. Our first episode on library geocaches is out now, and the next episode on birdhouses, which is the February theme, that's coming out soon. So, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, share this video with a friend, and let me know in the comments what you think. What are some geocaches that you have found that are tied to pop culture, TV show, or movie? There's a lot out there. So let us know if there are any that are your favorites that you have found, or ones that you are proud of that you've put out there. As for us, well, we're gonna pop some popcorn, throw on our comfies, sit on the couch, and just enjoy the show. Until the next time we go out caching. And until then, catch you on the next find.